Normally, color negative films render color through dyes that are inversions of the color captured. So something colored red in front of a camera will be cyan in the negative. Something colored green would be magenta, and something colored blue would be yellow. And other colors can be created by merging the dyes very close to each other, yielding something that closely approximates their vision. But Lomochrome Purple is very different. Green and yellow objects become purple and magenta, while blue becomes sort of a teal green, or kind of like a minty green.
So I'm going to keep it level. So let's say in 2 seconds. 14, 15, 16, probably like 17 or 18 for that center part of the tree. All right, F16 at 1 second.
Red stays mostly red, which is part of the reason why the forest floor in these images looks somewhat correct. And interestingly, cyan stays roughly the same. There are other colors besides these, of course. For example, a magenta flower in Lomo Purple would actually turn yellow, so that's pretty cool. Compared to a digital camera, opting for this film might seem a little silly because in theory, with a digital file, you could manipulate the colors so that you could replicate and kind of achieve a similar effect. The difference, I think, is that Lomo Purple is a physical thing in the camera that has unique spectral responses, meaning that the unusual colors produced in the film are dependent on specific wavelengths of light in front of the camera, and not as much determined after the fact by the photographer.
Alright, gotta do this quickly. 40th at the sun. Yeah, so I'm just gonna meet her right for 1/15. Alright.
All of this to say there's a magic to this film, and I just really look forward to inverting the negatives and seeing what the positives look like. For me, it motivates me to finish the roll.
Wow. Amazing light. Well, this is some insane dynamic range, if the film can handle this, but use maybe this tree as a little bit of foreground. Probably do a F11, which is hopefully enough for those leaves. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Another day, this time wet. So I'm hoping that because I'm going to be mostly underneath trees, that I'll be okay. As long as it doesn't really pour. Do F11 at 1 second. So 1 second for the foreground, 1/4 of a second. I'm gonna do 1/2 a second at F11. I got it zone focused here, 15 feet, F11. And so everything about 8 feet should be sharp.
Here I'm loading up another roll, but this time I was thinking of photographing at night instead. This was back in March of this year, and so everything was still pretty barren in upstate New York. But I had a theory that the film would render the remaining sodium vapor street lights in this area as a super vivid magenta.
4 minutes.
These yellowish-orange lights from my childhood are quickly disappearing, so if these results inspire you, I'd try this film and lighting combo while you can. Interestingly, a little further down the trail, another type of antiquated light. I'm pretty sure this is a mercury vapor lamp, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments.
4 minutes.
I do think it's useful to have a good handle on what colors invert to what when you're using this film. You can tell when looking at the actual negative of this image how blue the tree should be. Yellow inverts to blue, whereas the negative of the image prior is pretty green, and that would invert to magenta.
I don't think I'm gonna do 4 minutes though, because the bulb is like right there. All right, minute and a half, more or less.
So my original plan was to continue photography at night on this roll, but it was getting late, I was getting tired, so I saved it for another day.
All right, psych, it's not nighttime anymore, now it's daytime. And I'm at Ontario Beach Park. It's actually spring now. I'm gonna try the Lomo Purple a little bit, this time in the daytime. Take off the lens cap. All right, so I don't really want the background too sharp in this image, so I'm gonna do something called zone focusing. Try to measure with my feet. 1, 2, 3, 14. Oh, and lose my balance, 15. I actually want these benches to be in focus. I'm just gonna assume based on where I was that I need like another, I don't know, another 15 feet. Close this up. Let's see. It's kind of cool just with all the snow. Let's see how it turns out. Should be cool. You can believe it. Actually feels warmer. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Feels like the farther I go, the warmer it gets. I made it. Oh man. Let's do this exposure real quick. Alright, one more.
With that roll all set, it's time for Lomo Turquoise. Similar to Lomo Purple, this film also shifts the color primaries, but this time blue becomes orange, yellow becomes cyan or turquoise, and red becomes blue, and green stays green. I sort of get the sense between these two films that this one is the less popular one. I'm suspicious it's because since red turns to blue that it would make skin tones look pretty strange. So if you are interested in photographing people, maybe this film wouldn't be a good idea. But if you're like me and your photographs tend to be more focused on the light and the place, I think the possibilities are amazing, to be honest.
Alright, I'm gonna do one more. I'm curious how Lomo Turquoise is gonna render the blue of the cloud. There's gonna be a little bit more motion blur with the water, which might be interesting.
I do think there's a virtue to planning ahead with either of these films. I've been to this small boat harbor near Irondequoit Bay many times, and the feeling of expanse here is really special. There's something captivating about the surrounding water, the local infrastructure, and the changing light of day, made all the more otherworldly by this film.
Alright, we're in that kind of blue hour sort of sweet spot where the lights are on, a lot dimmer in the sky. F8 again. 30 seconds. Alright, this is pretty cool. So normally I would double the exposure time here, but I don't want to blow out the sign, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and still do 20 seconds.
About 2 weeks later, I returned to this area late at night. It was absolutely covered with a deep fog. That's the end of that roll. If you're interested in film photography and these results inspire you, I really do recommend you give these two films a try. They're just a lot of fun. I don't know, I had a lot of fun with them. But yeah, that wraps up this video. If you did enjoy this type of content, I'd appreciate a like, or you could subscribe for more. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace.